Hello everyone, and welcome to KDLounge, the best source for everything Cardano. Today we have a very special guest, Adrian Marquez. He is the CEO and founder of Docushield, the third project to be launched by KDL. Docushield is a decentralized privacy storage application. Now in this interview I try to understand why Adrian would do such an application, and also why he did it on the Cardano network. To be honest, I was really amazed by his background and his story. I was even more impressed by how good he is on the technical side, as he gave us a rundown on all of the aspects of the project itself. Later, we also saw how the actual application looks inside a mobile phone, for example. It was really cool. I hope you guys like it. Now, before we jump in, some news on KDLounge. Some of you might have noticed that I mentioned Docushield as a third IDO to be hosted on KDLounge. Yeah, that's because the second one is KatieSwap, developed by the very same team as KDL, and which is ready to go live right now. KatieSwap is gas-free and will be chain agnostic in the near future, meaning you can use it regardless of which chain you have your KDA in. There will also be airdrops for KDL holders and users of KatieSwap. The DEX will be live after the IDO, in the beginning of May, and will feature at least KDS, KDL, and DOC tokens right away. Of course, anyone can add liquidity to any KDA token pair. Meanwhile, you can check all of the amazing features and tokenomics on the Medium link provided below. Now, I would also like to extend a word of appreciation to the KD Labs dev team. I mean, these guys have been working non-stop to give you all of these amazing applications on the Cardano ecosystem. I hope they know how proud we are of them. And now I give you Adrian Marquez. Hey Adrian, thanks for joining us.
Hey, how's it going, man? Happy to be here.
It's a pleasure having you here. I guess the cat is out of the bag. You're going to do the launch with the KDL, right?
Yeah, man, and we're very excited about that. I think the whole community is pretty
likewise.
stoked.
Actually, when I found out about Docushield, I told the guys we need to have them with us because I really think you're doing an amazing job with this application and with what you're doing with Docushield. So it's a pleasure having you here and having you with us as well.
Thanks.
So to start off, I think you should maybe introduce us to yourself. Give us a little bit of your background and where did you came from.
Well, my name is Adrian Marquez. I'm from Southern California, born and raised. I'd call myself kind of like a serial entrepreneur, just projects and stuff since I was a kid. Started off with Pogs. I don't know if you remember, having Pogs back in the day. We'd take comic books and cut around them, paste it on there, and then, resell them. Did mixtapes and stuff like that, like actual cassette mixtapes as a kid. Sold those around. Right after high school, opened like an underground music venue. Did a lot of independent marketing. I have a bar / restaurant right now, which, thankfully I'm able to kind of get away and focus really on this project. So I've always loved finance. I've always loved technology, and crypto just kind of has captivated me for the last, probably since 2016, 2017, something like that. I spent about 7 years at a marketing automation company called Mindfire, and I did the technical training for all of our clients, onboarding them, walking them through the whole process of the marketing flow, and really just ensuring that their first campaigns were something that would be successful. So being there, I was able to see the progression and the development of software over time. Over the course of those 7 years that I was there, and really just how much blood, sweat, and tears goes into all of the development phases, and exactly. How people come across new ideas and then start QAing those and testing them out, and just seeing what works and what doesn't, what sounds like a good idea, but then turns out to not be the greatest thing. So I think that really helped me, get into tech and really understand, the finer details about what it's like to put together a project that's complex. Did a lot of independent marketing after that and got really heavy into crypto. And yeah, man, I did the restaurant thing. I had an opportunity to go in on a bar with some family members. So we did that, and I took that deep dive, which took me out of crypto for a good 3 years until COVID hit, and we had the lockdowns. And when I took that deep dive, man, like I just ignored everything else around me. Like crypto wasn't even like present, because I was just about the hospitality industry and building, the best thing that we possibly could. During those breaks, I kind of just looked back naturally into crypto and tech and was amazed at the strides and the progress and things that have been going on. And had the opportunity to take another step away now after having my firstborn kid, and he was the inspiration for this project, and now I'm here, things are kind of running, and I can't step away, man. I'm totally just engrossed in this project right now, and I love it.
Nice, man. Nice. Good to hear. And nice to hear that your son was what motivated you to start doing this again.
Yeah, man.
So, speaking of this is Docushield, right? So,
yeah.
Can you give us a broad perspective of what is Docushield? What is the purpose of having this app on KDLounge?
Yeah. Yes. So Docushield is in reality, it's nothing new. It's cloud storage essentially for your personal documents, but it's completely new. I'd like to see it as the next stage in the evolution of personal cloud storage or personal document storage. So it first started, when I had my son, and all of a sudden they're giving me birth certificates. I have all kinds of insurance information, all kinds of stuff that I can't lose. It's more important than the stuff that I have for myself because this is my kid, So I'm thinking like, damn, like I know the tech industry, and I don't know if you've ever been on a site called HaveIBeenPwned.com, but it shows all the data breaches. It's called Have I Been Pwned? HaveIBeenPwned.com.
Yeah.
It shows all the data breaches from everywhere. Google is that data breaches. Amazon, Dropbox, all around the board. There's these companies that you're relying with all your most private data that have these breaches, and there's even cases where employees can decrypt your information. Like they have the keys to see that. A lot of the data breaches actually have been around employees. And it kind of revolves around, the old crypto saying, not your keys, not your crypto, about leaving stuff on exchanges. And I feel the same way, like, with your documentation. If you're not the one that has sole access to it, then that's vulnerable to whatever that other person on the other end, decides to do with that information. So Docushield is a way to decentralize this whole kind of messed up system. It's working, but like I said, evolution happens. And the next step in that is to step away from, other people controlling that and relying on what we now have, the technology we have with the blockchain that's almost at that point now where we're hitting adoption, and I think Docushield is going to be a great use case for people to say, wow, like this is the next, logical step for us because it's more private, it's more private. And at the same time, you have things like transaction histories and stuff and proof of work that shows transactional certainty, and you can prove that things had happened. You can kind of follow the steps. So, yeah, that is kind of like Docushield in a nutshell, personal cloud storage space, but, with the blockchain behind it and all of the positive attributes that come along with that, the blockchain there, especially today.
Gotcha. So you took the cloud service and put it in the blockchain to be as transparent and secure as possible.
Exactly. Transparency and security at the same time is, that's something amazing that we can accomplish.
Exactly. So in this Docushield ecosystem, you have the Doc token, which, as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is the form of payment for the services you provide, right?
Yes, form of payment.
Will it be used like as a fee that you need to pay every month, or how will it work in terms of services? Yeah,
we're totally against doing anything on a monthly basis. There's times in my life where I had to start cutting things, as far as cost-wise. I have to cut out, Netflix. I have to cut out this, and that. And if for some reason, I have to cut out, my document cloud storage or my cloud storage service and all of the important things that come with that, that's just, I mean, if you're already at a difficult point where you're cutting expenses and all of a sudden you don't have access to these things that you need because you can't pay,
Yeah.
I mean, that is a situation that's horrible, man. So I don't want that. I want there to be a one-time transaction where for each document where you pay a set price, to upload this document. And once that's done, I mean, you can access that at any time. So, I mean, there's more than enough space. We've done the market research. There's, tons of room to work, and it's still very profitable not doing the membership type service. But I think, again, it just serves the user, better to always have, the ability to retrieve the documents at any time, no matter what happens. You lose your phone, go missing for 10 years, whatever it may be, you can come back and that's still there where you left it and it's not going in.
Okay, so you use it the doc as a payment for
Yeah.
a one-time thing,
Payment
and then
for
you
the
have access.
transaction.
Oh, okay, makes
So I
total
got a little
sense.
excited
Okay.
and strayed away from that. But yeah, it's going to be used for the transactions, and we're planning on charging by the gigabyte. So yeah, we'll have that worked out, and that's something we'll later reveal, like a structure or a model for that.
Okay.
But we want it to be steady, and we want it to be by the gigabyte. So I mean, that's tricky having a steady price in crypto, but I think how much doc you have to use to store, a certain document is going to vary. It's not going to always be one doc for 1 gig. It could be zero point 0.2 doc, or if doc goes wild, the price will still be per gigabyte and remain relevant. It'll just be more or less of the doc token that you need to
Okay.
put in store that
That was actually my next question is, since crypto is so volatile, and
yeah.
once you have a token, you're talking about a very volatile asset, right?
Totally.
So
Definitely, man.
so you'll keep the dollar cost in mind when you thinking about the cost of a gigabyte in this case, right?
Exactly. And it could be something, as simple as taking a 7-day average or a 14-day average of where the token is and then implementing that into, the application and having to control how much doc is actually going to be
Yeah.
taken for.
Okay. Seems good. Another question I'd like to talk about that I'm not sure I understand that well. So you're storing the private data on the blockchain. Will this be stored as an NFT, or how are you encrypting it? You want
Well,
to go
so,
over that?
yeah, man. And I actually have, if I could take controls of, the screen
Yeah.
for a minute, I have a workflow that
Sure.
kind of shows out how everything kind of happens.
Okay.
If that's cool with you.
Sure. Let me just give you rights to do it.
Okay, cool. So the way the whole kind of thing works out right now is we have the app, right? That's on your phone. And there's two ways to log in. You have the completely anonymous way, which is the old school crypto way. We have our seed phrase, we plug that in. Or we have the traditional way now, the Web 2 way of logging in. So you can log in with your Facebook, your Twitter, your Apple ID, whatever the case may be, password and email, and then implement two-factor authentication that way. So two account types, but the rest of the software kind of interacts the same way. Once you're inside, you have your document right here that undergoes some encryption. Over on the left, we can kind of see how that happens. So we encrypt the document, and now we have two items that we need. So that's our document that's now encrypted, and we also have key that unlocks that document. Right now, both of those pieces get sent over to private IPFS networks. So these are our internal private IPFS networks that we're going to run, and that the community is actually going to run. And we've had a ton of interest about people, running instances of this. These are essentially going to be, this is going to be our node program, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So they get sent to these two separate networks that don't really communicate with each other, and they live there. And now on the other end, we take all the data, all and and we pass that to another server. When I mean data, I mean the wallet information over here, such as the wallet address, the title of the file, and other things associated with the file. Where does it live as far as inside the storage of your app? Send that up to another private network, right? And that's pretty much where they live. Now the NFT gets generated when we have the IPFS network server communicate over to our Oracle over here. Hey, I have this information. Here's the wallet address that I have this information for, right? We have listeners set up with our smart contracts and say, okay, cool. I have this wallet address now. Now, at the same time, I have these other two private networks speaking to another Oracle. And it's saying, hey, okay, cool. We have data and we from this wallet address, and it transmits that, and that's all it says, right? Now, when we have a confirmation on all sides of matching wallet address, first for the metadata, over here, then for the key, then for the document, we say, okay, cool. This is all unified now. Now that I have this matching information, we're going to release the CID. And that CID is going to be written and encrypted into the metadata of the NFT over here. And so this is the smart contracts over here generating the NFT. And then it gets sent back upon request, or it gets sent back to the generating wallet. And only then can that NFT metadata be decrypted. When it has a matching wallet and secret key phrase or secret key, however you want to say it, then it says, okay, cool. I recognize that you're my generating wallet. So now the data can be decrypted, right? So that's the only way right now for us to do that. And if, say, you break your phone, right? Something happens, whatever, you have to get the app, download it again. The same thing happens. Now you have this NFT that lives in your account. And it's essentially a wallet. It's going to hold these NFTs. But we're not really calling it a wallet for the sake of mass adoption. We're not going to try and scare people away saying, hey, this is your crypto wallet that holds your documents. So like, no, this is Snap. It's a document storage solution. But that NFT will be present, and you can request now, since it's decrypted, and you can see that CID that lives over here. We can put that request in. That's this other line over here. And we can say, okay, cool. I have approval for this. Let me grab that CID, download the document. I have the decryption key. I have the encrypted the file. Decrypt it to the end user. None of this they see, right? They just see the document they have when they need it.
Exactly.
If they want to dig in and see the security, of course, we're gonna share, how it works with them. But really, the back end, they're never gonna see any of this stuff. It's just gonna always be there for them, and it's gonna be super private for them.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's complex for you, for the guys building it, but easy to understand and simple for the end user. Of course, makes a lot of sense.
Definitely tricky when building it, but I got some really smart, really creative guys. I mean, I do the front end stuff, the design, all of that of the app, and I can read through smart contracts, especially Pact. Pact's a little easier than others to read through, but when it comes to writing it, no, man, I want to get the best people out there for the job, and search long and hard for those people, and luckily I've found a good team, and always looking to add to that.
Great, man. I think since you're already sharing the screen, we can jump to one of the things I wanted you to do as well, which is do a run down of your app, if you might.
Yeah, just ignore my messy desktop right here. It's not too bad.
If you wanna stop sharing for a minute and prepare it and then just go again.
I'm up. There's nothing really private. We're good. Everything's embedded in folders and no big deal. So right here, if you guys can still see my screen, I'm gonna push play on this, and it's kind of a walkthrough. Okay. Can you see the whole screen?
Yeah, okay.
Can you see the video now?
Everything looks fine.
All right, man. Cool. Okay, so this is the login screen right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and push play and attempt to just overdub what's going on right here.
It looks good. Yeah.
Thank you. So this is our basic registration right here. And you can see right there at the top, we have general and we have anonymous. So we're going to first go through the general. That's just the everyday user, who wants to come in and register with their email and create a password, old school way, right?
Okay.
We can also see we're connecting different accounts at the top: Facebook, Google, Apple. We're going to have Twitter in there to be able to connect that. Also, we'll go through, what the anonymous account is. So now we get the email verification, and they get that link sent, and boom. But now we'll take a look at the anonymous. And if people are curious, we're going to have a breakdown of general versus anonymous. And anonymous is just the crypto wallet. We're going to create a password, and then we're going to get access to those 12 words, that recovery phrase.
Okay.
So this kind of goes through.
This is the real crypto experience, right?
This is the crypto experience now. Exactly. The seed phrase is generated. Obviously, they're not all going to be hello.
I hope not.
We'll download that. Whatever you want to do, write it down, and then verify. Just like every experience, pretty much in crypto. Yeah. So this is our anonymous account. We don't need your email. We don't need your name. None of that. And we're creating both types because people are going to lose this. This is going to scare people. And we still want to be able to recover information for them. And, the other. So this brings us to scan, upload, and import. So we wanted to make everything very simple. Scan is just going to bring up the camera and allow them to, scan their document. And we're gonna we found some really cool open source code that really allows us to bring out the text in the document and auto crop the document, and really cool stuff like that. Upload is gonna do just what it says. You're gonna search from your device, upload, and then we clicked on import. Right there, we're gonna integrate with other places by using their API. We're gonna start off with Google Drive and with DocuSign. And just getting all that stuff that's hosted with them right now and bringing it into to our platform.
Okay.
So that's what they first see. Now on the side, we have the search to go through all our different documents and our account. General info is just going to go through wallet info, seed phrase, linked account, things like that. So we can see we have different wallets in here. The secret phrase we'll be able to see from here, and whenever we need to. Linked accounts will be controlled, Google Drive, DocuSign. We're definitely going to be adding a ton more. And then general app information, right?
Yeah, all good. Yep.
Payments and purchase, we'll be able to see our existing wallet. And if you have multiple, there'll be a pull down to select. Our payment history will be seen here. So every time we've paid any doc or any fiat within a transaction, we can control our cards and our bank accounts from right here as well. And, help if you need it. FAQs, community, user guide, all that stuff. Let's go into our, I believe we still have some other stuff inside here. Settings, change password, miscellaneous, but we're going to go into the document vault. This is our secured vault. So first of all, before we move forward, our secured vault is going to be all the things that we paid already to have secured in with the doc token, right? Then our other vault, which we're going to get to next, is going to be all the local stuff that you have that you can still use the app to organize, but has not been encrypted, has not generated the NFT, and has not been through that whole process. So we're going to go ahead and search just PDF, come through, and we can see all the different search results that are secure in this instance. And then these are the non-secured imported stuff. So other things still yet to be secured, and we'll give them the option to go ahead and do that as well. Shared items, we're still working on that with our contracts. Same thing with received and the recycled bin. Then at the bottom, we have a little secured versus imported so people can get the difference. Transaction history, again, right here. Now, this isn't just anytime there's been a payment. This is anytime anything has been done, a share, a retrieval, whatever the case may be. the wallet again right here, where we can
Yep.
see, your address, and then we can actually go through and purchase blocks of the doc token. So
Mm,
I think that's going to be clutch too, in allowing us to really control the prices. We're not going to be selling it in the form of an exchange where you say, I have, $12. Like, how much doc token can I get? We're going to have packages. Like, you can buy A, B,
okay.
or C. Pretty much. We have our support. I mean, education is going to be a huge point that we're going to have to do to, educate people what's secured, what's not, why does it operate this way,
Yeah, that's
So
nice.
I love Coinbase's education. You know how they just bring up all these cool videos and stuff and really help people understand what they're getting into. We log out, and now we're going to go ahead and come in and go through the login process, just with our either email or password, and also obviously we forgot password for basic accounts, which is, like I said, gonna happen. Feeling,
Yeah,
when
it
you're
happens
attempting
to
to get
everyone.
mass adoption. Yeah,
Yeah.
and here's the anonymous. Still, once you go in here, put your password, or recover the account with your seed phrase. You log in, and boom, you're right back in there. And And that's pretty much it right now as far as the app goes. And I mean, it's a lot, but it's not complex at the same time. My goal
Yeah,
for this
it's
is to have something that my mom can use, my grandma can use. They don't know
exactly.
anything about blockchain, but they can use this as their solution.
And it seems really, really user friendly and very, very minimalistic, which is fine, good in
Yep.
my view. This you're showing me like the app on a mobile application. Are you planning
Right.
to have it on a desktop as well?
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to. Just, we want to make it accessible to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna be getting done with this first and jumping through hoops. I know sometimes when working, with the Apple Store, especially, there's caveats and things that you gotta work through. So
Yeah,
web platform
yeah,
will definitely be available, but I mean, we're gonna really push to get those mobile apps present and developed. And it just seems like that's what people gravitate to, wanting to
yeah.
get a
That
specific.
that's true. That's true. That's true. Nowadays, most people, there are a lot more people that have a phone, access to a phone than to a computer, actually. Which I didn't have that kind of idea, but it happens. So it's good
Yeah.
that you're focusing on something that it's for everyone first, and then the desktop app. So right now, the app looks good. Everything looks perfect,
Thank you.
but you could have chosen any blockchain to build this on, right?
Right.
Ethereum has a lot of users, and maybe the adoption would be easier there. Why did you go with Kadena?
Well, first of all, proof of work, just from the get, and I first heard of Kadena when I started, getting into mining and all that, and I bought the little box off Gold Shell, and
Mm-hmm.
this is back when, I mean, Kadena was like 50 cents or something around there, 30 to 50 cents a piece. And we were getting like 7 of them a day to like 15 a day sometimes. And it was wild, man. I wish I didn't use it as gas money, most of the time. But whatever, it happens. So when I seen it, I was like, oh, cool, Cadena. There's not many people doing proof of work stuff. So I dug into it, and I seen the scalability, and I was like, whoa, there's like a whole other thing behind this. And the more I read into it, and started, like, researching the founders and stuff, the more impressive it was. And then just the transactional certainty behind proof of work and the decentralization. I mean, proof of stake kind of, in my opinion, counteracts the whole decentralization thing, because I mean, the more I stake, the more voting power I get, the way a lot of the blockchains work. When it comes to, like, let's just say Cardano, an example, with their staking, or and then they vote, and then your voting power relies solely on what that is, and how much you put down. I don't really like that, and I don't know if Ethereum's going that same way with their proof of stake, but whatever. I'm not really so concerned. Um, I think that, this is decentralization at its core. proof of work and what Kadena's doing, and then making it green, so everyone's like, oh, to hell with them, they're destroying the environment. And it's like, well, wait a minute, do a little research. Here's some information for you. This is actually, not it takes up, it's less resource intensive than even a lot of proof of stake, blockchains out there, and then the Pact language on top of that. Pact and Kadena as well just seem like what we're doing. It's the next step of evolution for the internet. It's Web3, and it's really what the future is going to be in my for what I believe.
Yeah, and Pact, you mentioned Pact, which seems to be a decisive factor in choosing Kadena
Yes.
for a lot of people. How do you see Pact in terms of being a user-friendly language, and also a language that can be understood by many people that are actually not that tech savvy? So, for instance, maybe Pact can be used in a smart contract and be used as proof of in a litigation process, for example. Do you think that's something that could happen in the future? And in what sense do you see Pact as a superior language to other smart contract languages like Solidity, for example?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the ease of usability first, definitely. And in your use case, I mean, people can just kind of read through it and understand. And you don't have to have too much of a tech background. It's just like reading a book, And I feel that way about a lot of languages, but, especially in Pact, once we get the right documentation behind us, which I understand is a huge core move, that's coming next, it's going to be kind of unstoppable. So, and there's not a history of breaches that have been going on like with Solidity. It's so open ended right now that there's just a million ways to do something, and that causes a million different problems that you're not even looking at. Pact is a lot more straightforward and to the point, and like you said, easy to read through. There's automatic bug detection, which nobody has. So things like that are going to make the future more secure. And when looking at it and seeing Pact and what it had to offer, and then going through the website, I forget what is it, secured by Pact, or where it shows where Pact would have prevented. I forget what it is right now, where it would have prevented all these breaches that had previously happened. It's kind of just a no-brainer, man. When you're looking at the evolution phases of technology, and you see something like Pact, it's like, wow, okay, cool. This is where I want to be. I want to be on the forefront of something like that, and that's really what kind of just locked everything down. I mean, we were already fans of it, but now after doing all that research on Pact, it was just like, okay, no brainer, we're here.
Yeah, cool. You mentioned back there. You mentioned IPFS, and how you're using it inside your app. You also mentioned Kuro on your white paper. So what's the place for Kuro with Docushield?
Well, the initial place for Kuro was going to be the NFT generation, right? And that was going to be like, so we can keep that completely private. Where the documents are coming from, where the NFT, when and where the NFT is generated, all that stuff. Now we're still working through the intricacies of combining the two, of having to talk to each other, the seamless integration between Kadena and Kuro, and so that's something that's a learning curve. Having the two talk to us, not only for ourselves but for a lot of the. So whether or not Kuro will be 100% implemented, in my vision, that's what I want. Are we there yet? Not 100% sure. So I mean, we're working with people. Smart Flux has been an amazing resource with all of the great minds they got over there. And moving on to the next part of the question, the IPFS servers, they're going to be hosting, naturally they're going to be hosting our IPFS servers, which essentially are going to be, our nodes. They're going to validate everything. They're going to pin all of the different data that we need. And it's going to be our private networks of IPFS, unless we find a better solution. Until then, IPFS, it's looking like we're going to have those networks hosted on Flux, and then also we'll be rewarding those people who are running the parts of those networks for us as well. So it just adds to the amount of decentralization, getting the community involved and saying, hey, you can help us with these transactions and validation. and pinning of.
Yeah. So you mentioned the internal nodes. Those will be run on Flux, correct?
Yes.
So you wanted to have full decentralization.
Full
What
decentralization.
that's good to know. But
Yeah.
what are the nodes for? Now, will anyone be able to run them?
You're going to have to put down a certain amount, and that's part of us trying to, in the long run, find some stability for the coin. Is going to be you're going to have to lock down a certain amount of the Doc token in order to operate them. A lot of how Flux operates, and when we come up with these ideas, we obviously look at the big players who are doing it right, and I'm picking the brains of node operators out there all over, and trying to get their feedback on, okay, what do you like about, running this type of node, a Flux node, free search, whatever it may be, and what do you dislike? And what would you say the ideal experience is? And then we're bringing that data back, and we're working with the team over at Flux to really just get what in our mind and what we're at right now is going to be the perfect solution for our end user. We don't want it to be something unattainable. Like you have to put down, $100,000 worth of docs running. No, we want to widen first. So the more people involved, the more certain you're going to be that it's always available. So we want to make it accessible. We want to make it easy. And Flux was just the natural choice. When I reached out to them, and I just started, I think I hit up Patrick Honeyman, who does a lot of work between Flux and Zelcore, and I didn't expect him to respond, but he responded like 20 minutes later, which is pretty much right away. He's like, "Hey man, yeah, let me connect you with Daniel," and connected me with Daniel Keller, who's what is it, the CSO over there, and I didn't expect to talk to them, but just their willingness to come and open up, and he set me up with some of their team, and we just kind of worked through the finer details, and like I have not had one negative experience with any of them. That team's been wonderful. They know their stuff, man. Some really bright people over there, and I'm privileged to be able to work with them on putting together a node program that hopefully is going to, be the next stage, and it's going to set the bar for node programs in the future.
Great. Yeah, that's great to hear. They really are a great team, and I think the Flux and Kadena communities are kind of like that. Everyone wants to build towards the same goals, and everyone is trying to help each other out. So it's amazing to hear that you have the same experience as well. Now, about the tokenomics of Docushield and the Doc token. I notice you have like 500 million total supply. I think that's right.
It's going to be released $1 billion total. So
billion total.
200 million letting out, from the get, and then $1 billion in total that will be released over the course of the next 10 years.
Okay, so one of the numbers I found fascinating was 0 tokens for the team. Yeah. What drove you to that decision of having no token whatsoever for you and the team building it?
Yeah, man, transparency. I mean, we are already going to be running the company. We're going to be getting paid, for those efforts as well. And my team's going to be getting paid. So in my mind, I don't want anybody to worry about us dumping tokens on anybody or anything like that. Like, we're here to build a great product. And if my, team wants to invest in Doc and buy tokens on their own and host a node, outside of work or whatever, that's cool. But, I think, man, that this is something that we're going to give to the community. And the tokens that we would take now, we want to put in, for incentivizing people who are going to help us in development. So we want to use them as rewards for bug bounties. We want to use that as rewards for hackathons, who can help us build the next great piece of this little puzzle or put the next great piece of the puzzle together. So instead of taking all that and saying, oh, we're going to hold these and they're for us, it's like, no, man, let's put this to use for something good. And no worry to the community about us dumping anything. Transparency is huge, and that's another thing that I love about Kadena is that everybody's upfront about what they're doing. And it seems like a lot of other places, everybody's under these weird, like, little pen names, they remind me a lot of like those like rapper names or something, like like Snoop Dogg's not your real name. but but
Yeah.
everybody's under this like monkey ear. And here everybody's out in the open and everybody's transparent. And that's how I like to live it. And just what you see is what you get. We're gonna be honest and transparent with you. We're gonna try and build something amazing. And thank you for being along for the ride.
Okay, man. It's nice to hear that, and I commend you for doing that because it really shows that you're here for the long haul and for the project itself, and not just to make some money and just be done with it. So,
hey man, I've been ripped off on a lot of these projects and stuff.
Yeah.
I invest in crazy things sometimes, though. I'll throw a little bit at it.
It happens to all of us, right?
Yeah, man.
We all have that little degen inside us, so that there's nothing we can do.
Man. Definitely.
Okay, just to finish off, we like to end on a more broad question, and on a question that may be more appealing to folks that have no idea what crypto blockchain is, and we like to give them different perspectives from different people that we bring here. So from someone that has no knowledge in blockchain,
mm-hmm.
in your own words, why do you think they should care and they should learn about it and start investing or even just using these applications?
Yeah, no problem. And I'm like an evangelist, not only in Bitcoin but in blockchain. But people don't even know blockchain. They'll just say, "Oh, you're into Bitcoin." It's like, well, yes, and it all stems from Bitcoin, and it's putting the power back in your hands. Not in a currency that's just having money printed and printed and printed. Now we're not even printing it, man. We're pushing a button, and then more is generated. So I mean, just having that, that ledger that we can always go and see all these different transactions happening, the transparency behind it, everything about it, the decentralization, it just gets me pumped, man. It's taken the power away from the people that have had it so long and distributed it to all of us, and given us all an equal say in what happens in our voting power and all that. So I really feel like blockchain is the future. Like it is what's going to make life a little bit easier for all of us and make things more transparent and harder to hide, when you're doing any shady stuff, man. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So I could literally talk about it all day, but I mean, that's the main thing. It's just the power to the people,
Okay. Yeah, I understand you. We could have a whole other interview just about this.
Totally.
But yeah, for now, I think this little clip will do. And Adrian, thanks a lot for being with us.
Thank you.
It's been a delight, and yeah, let's work toward that launch and make Docushield successful, because I really think it's worth doing it.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited for the launch to the community. We're going to do things in a way that no other people have done yet, and transparency is going to be one of those key things. We trust is earned, not given. So we want to earn your trust, and we want that to be for the long haul, because I mean, we're taking this to a level that's going to be global, and it's going to lead towards adoption. And we want everybody there along for the ride. And thank you guys all for the love and support that has come back from the community. But yeah, we're very excited, man, and really excited to be working with you guys.
Yeah, same. Back at you, man. Maybe next time we'll be here in a few months and talking about how Docushield success is going.
Definitely, man.
See you there.
All right, man. Have a good one. Thanks.
See ya. And that's it for our show today, guys. I really think Adrian's passion for his own project was on display today, and so I don't see how Docushield could ever fail. Now, a project on the Cadena ecosystem that we've been looking at is the Alpha Slayer Club. They describe themselves as a cross-chain alpha sharing community and deflationary NFT collection on Cadena. Basically, NFT holders will research other projects across the crypto world, and other members of the community can reward them with upvotes. The most upvoted projects will get a monetary reward from the project treasury. Seems a really fun concept for those of you into NFTs and searching for crypto gems. As always, this is not financial advice, and you should always do your own research. Okay, and that's it for our episode today. See you next time.